I like that. I like it. I don't have an issue with it. So let me know. Y'all want to do it again another day, another time, another Friday? I don't know. We'll figure it out. I'm going to go back and see why he put her under a bush. He put him under the bush. She, who is Hagar. Hagar put her son Ishmael under the bush. I don't know what I did. Lula, she just said thank you. Just thank you. Thank you for being you. That's it. Don't worry about it. So Hagar put her son Ishmael under the bush because remember Sarah no longer wanted Hagar and Ishmael on her property. And she told Abraham, like, she got to go. Like, they got to go. I don't know what you're going to do, but they got to go. And Abraham was kind of like, I think he was a little torn. But then God told him to listen to his wife and let her go. So he listened to Sarah. And Sarah wanted to get him the boot because she had reached her last straw with Sarah. The problem was, with Hagar. Sarah reached her last straw with Hagar because Ishmael, her son, was taunting Sarah's son, Isaac. Like he was teasing him and, taunting him, right? And so she was like, oh, that's it. That's the end. You got to go. Now, I'm pretty sure there were some things that led up to her feeling this way and making that decision because remember, Hagar was Sarah's servant, right? And she was a servant that she asked to have to sleep with her husband. Wow, right? I know it. But anyway, so let me see. Okay, so Abraham had gotten all their things together, put water in little skin for her. And then when they got to this particular destination, they ran out of water. And Hagar was just watching her son just diminish, right? She was just like, I don't want to see him in this condition. So instead of her like coddling him or doing whatever, she would have done as his mother, she went and put him under a bush. And then she went like yards away. I can't remember how many yards away it said, 300, 400, something like that. She went so many yards away. And then she just, went away from him while he was crying and he was dehydrated, I'm sure, and hungry and all those things. But she didn't want to watch him. So she left. So that's how she put him under a bush. I just learned the other day it was Gardner or TMC that said he was a teenager. I didn't even know that. I read the text as if he was a small child. I was thinking the whole time that he was like a toddler or, elementary school age. I wasn't really thinking toddler. I was thinking more elementary school age. I definitely wasn't thinking teenager. And my thoughts was how you put the teenager under the bush. I guess she was just like, I guess he was so weak. And so, he was just diminishing that she was able to scoot him under the bush. Point of the story is she put her son under the bush and went the other way. So when all said, what Hagar's name meant, flight, and I think he said fleeing and something else. I was like, oh, that makes sense because in the Bible days, somebody always had a name that meant something. Laughter, remember Isaac's name meant laughter, and a host of other people's names. So when he told me that, I'm like, oh, now that makes sense. Like it all comes together. See, that's why I like doing this in a group. I like group activities. I like group activities because somebody thought of something that I didn't think of. So yeah, he was a teenager and she kind of pushed him on, get on under that bush, boy. Or whatever, however she said it. Thank you all for joining me. I had a good time. Okay, I see something that says Lot's wife's name was never mentioned, but according to some Jewish tradition, the rabbis refer to her as Ada or Edith. Oh, thank you for looking that up. Thank you for looking that up, Garden, because I sure was going to do it after I got off this live. Okay. Yeah, because I'm like you. I didn't know I'm sure she had a name. I just didn't know that they mentioned her name. So thank you for the clarity. I appreciate it. Girl, I have a teenage son and he's sick right now, acting like a baby. Anyone have a bush? You all are hilarious. Oh, you are a comedian. Oh my goodness, that is hilarious. And they do, like when they sick, they do act a little, like they can't act like a baby. Yeah, because you gotta. But as a mother, I don't know. Like, okay, I'll ask this question. As the mom, how many of you would have put them under the bush and left? Okay, you don't have to answer that question because I don't want you to feel like you're incriminating yourself or like I don't want you to feel like I'm gonna look at you sideways, like, ooh, y'all know all did that or Lula did that. I won't look at you sideways because what I recognized the other day when we were in this live, and I think it was either Garden again that said something that made the point that because I was saying I would have been, by my child's side, but Garden, I don't want to pin this on you. It was you or TMC. Somebody said it. Somebody made the point that not everybody wants to be around their loved ones when they see them, diminishing like that, or when they see them suffering. So maybe that's why she, fled the scene and went on over to the other side, wherever she went. She went away from the bush. We know that. So maybe that's why. That is funny. Oh, you are hilarious. The Garden of Inspiration. Yes, it was TMC that brought it to our attention. Yep, I looked it up and found that he was correct. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, because you two were y'all were both in agreement with a couple things. So yeah, I learned that. I didn't know. So I learned something new the other day, right on live, because all this time I was thinking child, small child. And I studied Last Wife. And yes, right now I want to put him under a bush and leave. He's my buddy though. I know. I can relate. I can understand that. Sometimes you do. And then you think about the lack of sleep you can get, and they be like, Ma, you'd be like, child, please just go get some rest or do something. So yeah, you might want to put them under the bush sometimes, but gotta stick by them, stick by their side, or, do what you can do, because you get tired taking care of people too. Yes, I had mentioned that about Hagar leaving the room, because she definitely did. She was and I said, remember I made the joke, like, she's a runner, she's a track star. If anybody knows that song, she's a runner, she's a track star. Because she fled the scene. Remember, she left when she and Sarah got into an argument. Remember when they were saying Hagar was being abusive to Sarah and Sarah was being abusive to her, and Hagar rolled out. Hagar was like, I'm done. I'm not taking this. Even though I'm like, you know what? I think about it too, though. Like, she, instead of her facing that and resolving their conflict, she was like, I'm out. I mean, how many of us do that today? We like, I ain't got time for this. I don't feel like it. I'm not dealing with you and your shenanigans. Like, I'm over it. I'm gone. Bye. Goodbye. So Hagar was just like, I'm out. So we saw that she did. When the going got tough, it said in that excerpt, when the going got tough, the tough got going, she rolled out of there. That's it. Wow. That's a whole word. Good stuff. Do you run or resolve? I like to resolve. I'm a resolver. And I found out that a lot of people don't like that. They don't like when I do that. I'm definitely a resolver, 1,000%, because I like, if something is bothering me, I'm just going to be okay. I know we over an hour. Can we talk for a second? Do y'all want to talk for a second? Let's talk for a second. Do you all mind? Because if you got to go, you just got to go. Like, I understand. But if you want to sit here and talk for a little bit, we can do this. So me, because you asked me the question, I don't run. I like to face the problem head on, because my parents taught us when we were younger, get an understanding. Like, and so I go by that. Like, I like to know what was the problem. Like, let's talk about it. If it's something that just happened, I'm the person, I want to jump on it right now, immediately. Like, if something just happened, I'm asking right now. But what I've come to what I found out is that not everybody wants to do that. So while I'm ready to jump on it right away and resolve the issue, let's talk about it, because I want to talk about it and get it out the way. Let's talk about it, get it out the way. Let's resolve this issue and let's move on. That's me. That's my personality. So if something happens, I want to talk about it immediately. Resolve the issue. Like, let's talk about it. If we can't agree on whatever, then we can disagree because we're two different people. But let's just make sure that we're in a good spot, and then we move on. That's me. And I forget about it. But I learned that I had to sometimes pull myself back, because not everybody wants to talk about it right now. Some people just they want to run, or they don't want to resolve it, or they need time. Like, they don't want to talk about it right now. I want to talk about it instantly, like right now. Some people want to wait. They want to wait an hour, 2 hours, a day, a week. I don't want to wait that long, because for me, it just makes something bubble up inside me. I'm just gonna be honest. Like, I'm just like walking around like, why can't we talk about it? Or why can't we just resolve this issue? Because that's just me. I want it done instantly, but I'm like, okay, I gotta respect that person wants to wait and talk about it. So yeah, I don't run. I'm a resolver. I want to be a problem solver. Let's solve this problem. Like, why are we waiting to talk about it? If you're on the opposite end of that, if you're a person who likes to run, tell me what your thoughts are, because maybe it'll help me when I run into people like that. Because like I said, I like to handle it right now. Right now. If I just talk to you and it's 10 seconds later, let's resolve it. Why are we waiting? Why are we waiting? I am a caregiver for my sick child who came close to death a few times. And I realized that when you have gotten to a point of desperation, there is nothing more you can do. Oh, that's probably why you shared that the other day. Oh my goodness. I didn't know that. God, thank you for feeling safe enough to, to say that in the chat, Garden, because that's going to help somebody else. That is going to definitely help somebody else out, I think. And it also, like I said, when you brought that up the other day, it helped me to think of it in another way. It gave me a different perspective because I'm just like, who wouldn't want to, stay over there by their child? Who wouldn't want to stick it out? I was thinking about myself, but people think differently. So I was glad that you brought that to the attention of, the chat and to my attention because I was trying to figure it out. I was like, okay, all right, well, that makes sense. That makes sense. Not everybody's the same, right? So we can all have different perspectives and opinions and, feel differently about things. And that's okay. It's all right. God made us all to be unique and individual. So I'm just appreciative, like I said, that you are sharing that perspective because I hadn't thought about it that way. Hey, GGJ.
Even when you feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go. Go, go.